Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being back with us. I'm Nora Benavidez with PEN America. And as you know, this election season, we are all hands on deck, combating disinformation. And today we have a very special guest with us, journalist and an absolute delight in every way, Cindi Leive.
Hi, Nora. Thanks for having me.
Let's start with 2020. It has been a mood. It's a whole vibe. What would you say to those that feel overwhelmed at what comes next?
One of the things that has come out of this moment is this sort of collective resolve that so many people are feeling to stand up and be counted, to do, more than the bare minimum of what's expected to protect our democracy. When we look back on this moment, we're going to want to be able to say we were part of this. And that's a joyous moment. It's a moment that's born out of a lot of suffering, but it's a moment of hope and joy. How do we reframe this time as that?
You have decades of experience bringing engaging content to readers. How do you get that sweet spot between educating content and entertaining content?
I always think that personal stories make a huge difference. I mean, we're humans. We are hardwired to see the world through the lives and experiences of other humans. And I think, the more we're able to do that with election-related information, with COVID-related information, the better. 2 documentaries that came out this year, All In, which is the documentary about Stacey Abrams made by Lisa Cortez and Liz Garbus, and John Lewis, Good Trouble, the film made by the documentarian Dawn Porter. Both of those, I think, have helped awaken an entirely new generation to the realness of voter suppression in our lives and the importance of standing up to actually protect a democracy that I think many people have taken for granted their entire lives.
One of the things I find most inspiring about your work is that you absolutely center women in your storytelling, in your advocacy. And I'm curious how your approach has evolved over time, and why is this work now so essential?
Well, I firmly believe that if you're looking at this year's election, that it is going to be carried by women. I mean, women are disproportionately the people who are doing the work of sharing information, working at the polls. They have been historically for generations, making sure that correct information gets out there all the time, particularly in the face of some incredibly colorful disinformation.
We have a lot of young women who are going to be watching this. What are the pieces, frankly, of advice that you might give to those that are overcoming obstacles and wanting to affect change?
My advice to any young woman, young person, human is find your community. I mean, nobody can do anything alone. And I think that examining the people you have around you personally, professionally, maybe that's a structured group. Maybe you guys get together once a month and you say, here are the problems before me. Here are the challenges. What should I do? Maybe it's a more informal thing where questions pop up on a text chain, but find that group and be really explicit. Say, I want to be able to come to you guys with this kind of thing. It took me personally a long time to learn that lesson, and I'm really glad I did.
Well, clearly, all of us are reeling from what's happening around the country, around the world. With COVID, I'm so tired. I'm sure you are. I think we all are. And I think there's a sort of this struggle. How do we practice self-care right now?
I will say that one thing that makes a huge difference for me is just getting enough sleep. I mean, I think this is something that women, much more than men find is a challenge in their lives, that it's really difficult to be able to give your body the basic fuel that it needs. If you talk to a lot of really successful women, they have that. Sorry, dog again. Okay, it's a small miracle and a big compliment to PEN America. My dog has actually been quiet for the duration of this interview.
Well, this is Lulu. She's always quiet, which I think is her statement about everything.
This is Teddy. He's a mischief maker.
Oh, Teddy. Well, Cindi, this has been wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us. I think Teddy is practicing self-care. He's resting now, so give him my affections. And for everyone who's interested in getting involved and learning more this election season on how PEN America is fighting disinformation, check us out at pen.org.